Okay, the second part of this tutorial is about how we can introduce trees to this view easily. So I've opened up Illustrator and I found this image of a Douglas fir tree. I just downloaded it from the internet just now. And I'm going to bring it into Illustrator and do a live trace on this. So I'm just going to go up to image trace up here and use the drop down list and just go to silhouettes. And that looks pretty good to me. I think I'll probably be able to use this. So I'm just going to hit expand, and that's going to give this a fill of black. So if I just swap these so that my stroke is black and my fill is transparent, you can see I have a pretty good line work version of this tree, and now I can save this as a DWG. Actually, you're going to go export as, and then save this as a DWG file. So I'm going to do that, and just make sure that your version is on either 2004 or 2007, and you can leave all the rest of the settings as they are. And now if we go into our Rhino file, I'm just going to go into the plan view. And I should be able to just drag and drop this file right in here and I'm going to go import, and I'm just going to accept those settings, and I'll use ZSA to take me to where this file has been created. So I'm just going to move to shaded view just to make this easier to see. So the tree is here, and I'll just do a quick visual check because we know that Rhino has trouble creating surfaces from intersecting lines. So we're going to want to fix these. I'm just going to draw a line and then trim off the excess. Before you do any actions, you might have to explode this. So I'm just going to select it and explode it. And now I'm going to try to use this line to trim away this extra stuff. So I can join this and get rid of that part. And I'll just do another quick visual check to be sure there's no other intersecting areas. So there's one right here, and I can get rid of these lines. So once you've done a visual check and you've fixed any of the intersecting lines, you can select it all and go to Surface from Planar Curves. And even if there's still some intersecting curves, just see if Rhino is able to create a surface from that. And it looks like in this case it was able to. So if I wanted to get really detailed, I could go in and split the surface with these little bits and pieces that are part of the tree. And that way I would get some windows in the branching like that. So then I can just take this surface and move it over like that, and I should have a surface that has a bunch of little branchy windows in it. So I can get rid of that. And now I have a tree surface that I can stand upright. I'm just going to use my gumball, and I'm holding down Shift to constrain it to polar coordinates. And now I have a Douglas fir tree that I can use for shading in this 3D model. Now it looks like this model might be in meters, and this tree might have been quite large. So I'm just going to scale this down to a proper size. Let's say your trees on site are around, well, I don't know, if they're tall, they might be somewhere around 35 to 50 meters. So I'm going to draw a line that's maybe 30 meters high. And I'm going to scale the tree. So SC for scale. And I'm going to use the base point there, go to the tip, and then bring this down to my reference line, which was drawn at 35 meters. So you can see it's quite a bit smaller. And now I can just move this tree and begin placing it on my site where it needs to be. So you can do this with the different types of trees that you have on your site, and you can rotate them around to suit your perspective. So now if I go back to my named views here, you can see that I have the tree in the background, and it's going to start casting shadows across the site. So if I wanted to copy and paste this, I would just use copy and maybe select somewhere in the middle and paste it everywhere where there is a tree on the site. So I'm going to assume some of these trees are incorrectly placed because they're right in the middle of the path, but I'm just going to match it up as best I can with some of these tree objects. And now if I go back to my perspective, I have the trees, they're on site, I can rotate them to face me if I like, and they're casting shadows across the site, so I'm getting a much more realistic scenario of what I should be expecting as I'm rendering out the views. Now if you want to get rid of the line work of the trees, you would probably just want to turn that layer off. I'm just going to check and see what it is. So trees. So I can turn off the trees layer is turned off. There must be another trees layer. With that selected, I could just go to select layer, and it selects all of the line work that's on that layer, and I can just group it and turn it off like that. And now I'm left with a pretty clean background file, so I don't have to worry about those lines showing up in my rendered view.